hope it's working. Okay, so hello everyone. I hope you had a nice weekend. So, um, so tonight is a little different. I'm talking to you from my bed. So I hope you had a nice weekend, and then you decided to do something for yourself. And I hope it's fine. Can you see me? Yes. So, so I hope you continue to use the tools. Oh, actually, I need to look at you here. So I hope you see me well. Maybe it's a little on the side. I'm not sure. Let me know. So the theme of sorry, I'm a little tired right now because I had a very intense clearing session today, and the theme of tonight's live is related to what I did today in my clearing session. This time I was the one that received the clearing, and the main theme that hi, whoever is watching, please say hi. If you're watching the replay, please write replay. So what was I saying? Yes. So I did a clearing today, and it was very intense. So this is my update on the... Hi Sherilyn, how are you? Good evening. I'm very excited to see people joining me online. So welcome in my bedroom with me. So yes, so tonight I wanted to talk about a very important topic, which is around vulnerability. That is something that came up in my clearing today as an essential step to take when we want to step in our truth and our power. Meaning, in very simple words, if we want to upgrade ourselves, if we want to be the person that we are meant to be, or that we want to be, one important component of this is to be vulnerable. And that was a clearing that I did today that led to that very important theme. Because we see a lot of people around us that will tell us about their successes, and very few will talk about what's not going right, or if they are low, and then we get that message that hi Adam said, I love your structure. Thank you Adam, and welcome to the live. So if we want to improve, and if we want to, hi Rebecca, and we want to become our true authentic self, one very important part of it is to be vulnerable. And by vulnerable, it means being transparent in who we are with ourselves and with others. And one of the part that I am now working on personally is to learn to be more vulnerable. And I made that commitment to myself after that clearing, that I'm going to work on that aspect of myself, which is about not only talking more about the side of myself that I would like to improve, and because it's been quite hard for me to share sides of me that I might not be very happy with, or things that are not the way I would like them to be. And the reason is sometimes when we look at the people around us who talked about their success, very few will talk about the parts of them that they are still that is still work in progress, because they are afraid that they will lose their credibility, or that they will lose people respect or trust. So in fact, being vulnerable is a strength, because when we embrace all of us, not only our strength, but also the other side that is not as perfect as we would like, it becomes an asset, and it becomes a part of us that we learn to embrace, and that by sharing it as well with others, it's almost like we are embracing that side, and we are committing ourselves to improve it instead of dismissing it or not wanting to talk about it. I hope it makes sense what I'm saying. So people talk a lot about being authentic, and being authentic means means sharing what's working and also what's not working. And so I decided to be more. I was talking to someone today who helped me to do the clearing, and she was telling me that, in your lives that you actually share a lot of personal things, which is great. And it's about being that consistent true self throughout the day, not only when I decide to come with you and share with you, but it's also being that true self outside of our little group, so something that I worked on today is, which was triggered this week because I'm doing a lot of energy work to improve my intuition. And throughout this week, I got triggered. And yes, Sherilyn, I know I'm being a little vague. Sherilyn asked me, can you give an example, please? Definitely, I'm getting to it, but it's a little hard for me right now. Because I'm learning to be more open about my own vulnerability, and it's not easy. But I know this is the path for my growth, my own growth, and it's okay to share things that I'm working on. So today I worked on the side of myself that got triggered. And I did that clearing, and a lot of my stuff was in my solar plexus. So right now it's extremely sore. It's very painful, and it's like I've been working out and I've been, doing some weightlifting, but actually I didn't. I did a very powerful energy clearing session. Wow. So, what I was triggered on is there is a part of me that sometimes gets anxious, and that anxiety is related to that discomfort that I have to enjoy my own company sometimes. And sometimes it's related to that feeling of loneliness, and the fact that I can struggle to to feel happy around myself. Does it make sense what I'm saying? And when I get triggered, something will happen and I will feel almost in panic mode, because it's almost as if I'm struggling to enjoy my whole self. And that is related to the theme of self-love. So we did a clearing, and we went back to, because it always comes back to childhood, that sense of feeling left alone and not being given the love at the time that when we needed it. And later as an adult, it can transfer into not being able to stand in our own feet emotionally, and needing to not being able to connect with our own source of love, our own light. And it's almost as if we need someone else's light to feel good, and to feel that to feel at ease. So this is something that I've been working on, and it was all of the pain was in my solar plexus, and it's something that I've been carrying for a long time, and that I've done a clearing on. But sometimes we have different layers of the same stuff that can be deeply rooted. So we do a clearing and it helps. But then, because sometimes some of our blocks and energy blocks is deeply rooted, we need to do some additional clearing work to clear the second layer and the third layer, you know. So this is what I've done today, and yeah, it's very powerful. And it kind of helped me to go through to go through that block, which prevents me from sometimes feeling totally at ease with myself. So is that an example that answered your question, Sherilyn? So all in all, what I am saying here is that it is important not to be afraid or ashamed of things that we carry, of things that we still need to work on. And yes, good. And it's okay to acknowledge that there are still things that we want to heal, because that's part of me that needed some additional healing, and that I committed myself to continue to do. Sort of. Okay, so what's your question, Sherilyn? Because maybe I was not clear enough, or maybe I was confusing you with all of my long explanation. So if I want to summarize it, vulnerability means not hiding ourselves from the world, not and show the side of us that sometimes we are ashamed to show, because we fear judgment, we fear rejection, and we fear the reaction from the outer world. And because we fear that, we kind of select a part of us to share with the world, in just being us. Is that clearer now? Good. Sharon says, yes, now I understand. So sorry, I went in a long explanation because I was sharing my own stuff. So it's not something that I usually do. And I decided to do it as part of my next step, as part of my progress. So that's why maybe it didn't make sense initially, and it hasn't been prepared. It's very spontaneous. So that's why I might have not been as structured and straightforward and focused and to the point as I usually am when I talk about the other topics. So I would encourage you to do the same. And actually, I want to know: are you sometimes afraid of showing who you are? Are you because of that you might restrict yourself as opposed to expand yourself? Okay, Sharon says, I think that's what I'm going through right now. I have fear to show what I want in my personal relationship. Yes, it can affect so many parts of our life, particularly relationships, whether it's with our loved ones or our partners or our friends, our family. Yes, we fear so much sometimes how the people will react that we just hide some parts of us, and that's not the best solution to because when we do that, we kind of restrict ourselves, and we feel constrained. We feel like we're limiting our space, our freedom, and we are not allowing ourselves to be who we want to be, because we are so afraid and worried about the consequences. And there are some people who just decide who just decide to just be who they want to be, and they are not, and you can sense that they are full of life. They are not feeling constrained by whatever whatever the other people might think or say, because they're just embracing who they are. And the more we embrace who we are, the more we share who we are, it can also help others. So Sharon said yes, very much so. So why don't I give you a little exercise or challenge, or you call it whatever you want, and decide that this week you're going to be more vulnerable, and doing it incrementally. So that's what I did tonight with you. Well, it was a little awkward when I started. Sharon said, thank you, work in progress. Yes, and we are all work in progress, and it's okay. It's okay to be work in progress, and it's also a great thing to acknowledge our progress as well. So that's what I committed myself to do, and it's so the clearing that I done, which is about that side of me that is going to enjoy more my own self, which is a self-love part, which is about me learning to be totally at ease with myself, um, is something that I'm working on, and I've shared that with you. Maybe before I would have not said it like that. I would have not said it like, look, this is what I'm working on, because I wouldn't want to share that side of me that I'm not very proud of. So that's my my big achievement of today in that exercise, you know. And if you want to share with us what is the part of you that you are working on, that what you are worried about, and or anything that about you, then please do it, because this is what we are here to do, to support each other. And I think it's also about learning to embrace who we are, and not being afraid of being us, you know, of being our true authentic self. Because I realize that I have a tendency not to share things when I am in pain, or when I am going through a struggle. I will not share it because I will not feel comfortable doing it. But now I'm learning. And obviously it doesn't mean like you can't be selective with who you share, but there is a difference between being selective and completely hide a side of yourself because you're afraid of being you. So that was it for tonight. It was quite a heavy topic. I want to know if you liked it, if this is something that you found useful, or if actually it was not something that you enjoyed. I want to know. So I would love to hear your feedback, and I would love to know if you have any question before I close my live. So Sherilyn, do you have a question before I close my live? Did you like the topic tonight? And I would also encourage you to just embrace who you are, and not being afraid of being you. Okay, Sharon say definitely worth it. Thank you. And no, it was really good. Thank you. Okay, great. I'm happy if it helped. So thank you for being with me, and sharing and exchanging. That's what I like. I think that new format is kind of cool because there is more interaction. I think before it was more like lecture mode, and this one is more interactive. I can ask questions, people can join and tell me how they feel. I think that works pretty well. So if you liked it, let me know. If you prefer the previous format, let me know also. Or I can do a mixture, and I believe I did talk about a particular theme, but before I was like very, very structured. So let me know what you like and what you want, and I will do my best to do what suits you best. Okay, so on that note, I'm going to sleep now because I'm going to rest, and my solar plexus is so sore, it's unbelievable. But it's a good thing. There was a lot of energy that was released, a lot of this anxiety, this fear, and I'm learning to celebrate myself. I'm learning to enjoy connecting to my own light. That's a tough one for me sometimes. Ow. Yeah, apparently it is. So, people who didn't get the love that they needed at some point of their lives, they will have that feeling of lack. That as adults, and sometimes they might not know how to fix it, how to feel that hole or that, that thing. And it's our responsibility as an adult to cater for the needs of that inner child that at the time didn't get that love. And how do we do that? Well, we can do a lot of several, there are various techniques, and one of them is the energy healing, which I'm doing, and I help people with as well. So if you want to get a healing, let me know. And I'm telling you, it's so powerful. Like, I've been doing it with my intuitive fellows, the people I'm doing my training with, and it's really good to do it with a third party, because sometimes we can't be very subjective when we are with ourselves. So it's always good to have someone who has the expertise, obviously, but also the is, it's not us. So yeah. So I'm going to have a good night's sleep, and I wish you a beautiful week, plenty of love, happiness, amazing manifestation, and a lot of healing energy for you too. Okay? So on that note, I wish you a good night, and I love you very much, and spend a lot of time to love yourself as well, and do a lot of self-nurturing and self-love, which can be from doing something for you, or dive into yourself to heal that side of you that is still wounded. So on that note, I wish you good night, and I will speak to you tomorrow in my next video. Bye bye. Good night.